Hey, Carl.
Hey, Jeannie, how are you?
I'm doing just great. We're live streaming.
Are
We're
you
launching.
are you excited?
Yes, I am. Yes, I am. Yes, I am. So, a little nervous because I've never live streamed before.
That's okay. That's okay. You just run with it. So I have done a lot of things live after 25 years of being in radio. You do live quite well. But seriously, I have to say congratulations, Jeannie. This is a big day for you. Launching
Thank
Project
you.
Candor after how many months of working on it?
Oh gosh, I think I've been working on it for in my mind for a lot longer than I actually was doing or executing any task. But maybe end of July was when I
Okay.
started. Yep.
And that's that's a good amount of time to be working on it and then finally getting it launched. I mean, here we are, uh, middle of January, and your vision, your dream, is here. How does that feel to
Oh, it
have a
feels
live podcast?
good. It feels great. And in the interviews I've been doing so far, the people are so phenomenal and so fantastic. And I'm learning so much about so many different hobbies and events in people's lives that I would never know about unless I had started Project Candor. Because I really want people to come in, talk about their lives and what they do, and exciting adventures that they've had. So that's
And
what we're about.
and everyone has an adventure or a journey. I know some people will say, "Well, I haven't done anything interesting in my life." Yes, you have. It's just a matter of, looking in looking back at and it's a visual, but I'll say, looking through your photo album of things that you've done in your life, doesn't matter how old you were or how young or whatever. What are some of those moments? This is all wrapped into your show, which is the exciting piece because you ask people to bring two truths and a lie and explain that a little bit.
Well, I liked it. It's a team building exercise I used as a project manager in a lot of different companies. When you don't know the people that you're starting to work with, you have to have an icebreaker of some sort. So sometimes you just throw out sentences and say, you know, what's the most fun you've had in snow? And you people just come up with something like I've never seen snow in my life, and that's amazing in itself. Like for somebody to tell you they've lived and never seen snow, but it just is an icebreaker. So we really had fun with Two Truths and a Lie because we get to know some people, and they would just look like average people, never did anything, just go home, work, go home, maybe have kids and take care of them, eat dinner, come back the next day. And so then they start telling us that they flew to Italy and skied in the Alps, and you're just like, oh no, that's in Switzerland. I don't know. Well, they went off and did something, and you're like, you did that? That's amazing. And then they start telling you all the details about it, and you just are shocked. And
Yeah.
it's so much fun. It just gives you so much to connect with them on. So
And
the
part of this
fun,
premise is too, so I'm just going to stop you right there because I'm curious. Part of this premise is every guest comes with two truths and a lie. And it's not just them sharing and you know ahead of time. You have to guess which one is the lie, right?
yes, exactly.
And have you guessed right? Or have you been
Sometimes
okay?
I haven't been accurate 100%. I would guess that, my percentage of guessing is pretty low. But they can come with some stories that you just look at them and you think, no, you didn't jump out of a moving car at 55 miles an hour. No, you did not. And then they might say they did. And you're just like,
Well,
okay.
and I know you've had a chance to have some amazing conversations with people who are have done some great things in their life. So if they say something like, "Yeah, I climbed Mount Everest," or "I walked the road to Santiago for 2 weeks," and it's like, did they really do that? And you're like, well, it's not a stretch that they did or didn't. It's quite possible they did, right?
Right, right.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
you made me think of a story, and this person hasn't even been a guest yet, but a story that I heard from someone that they hate Tres Leches cake. which I really think that tastes really yummy.
Right.
And their story behind it is that they had to carry a big pan of it when they were on a mission trip in Costa Rica, and they had to carry it on a big hike, and they ate it from now on. So.
Yeah, and that's that in itself is interesting because you say something like, I don't like ice cream. How can you not like ice cream, right? Maybe it's like, okay, well, I'm lactose intolerant. Okay, well, maybe that's a good reason.
Yeah, that's
to
a
not.
good reason.
You still might like it, but you just can't eat it. But well, I didn't like ice cream because I don't know. That's the only thing we had for dessert, and even on a cold day, and like there could be some really bizarre reasons. And maybe bizarre is not the right way to put it, but you know what I mean. Some very interesting
Right.
reasons as to why people don't like things, or I had to do this, and they go, yeah, but I don't like it because, right? There's all these aversions that we don't necessarily understand until we hear the why behind it, which I'm assuming leads to some amazing conversations about the two truths and a lie as well.
It does. It does. And everybody's played along, and you see professional people on the podcast as we release episodes coming up. Some magnificent folks that have done magnificent things, but yet they're like happy to play along, and I just love it that they kind of humble themselves and say, yeah, I'm a person just like everybody else. And I think that's what's important about Project Candor, is that a lot of people don't get a red carpet experience or the spotlight. They're not a singer, a movie star, or a politician, or a sports star. But they're
Right.
very important people, and they live right around us everywhere, and they're doing so many things. So I'm just trying to bring them up and give them a spotlight.
Yeah, and you've done a phenomenal job at doing that. So kudos to you for taking
Thank
this
you.
on. Thanks for bringing us along on the journey. We are honored to be working with you here at Podcast Solutions Made Simple. I know that July, as our project manager, has been great to help facilitate and sort of. I always say she works the arms because I'm always doing other things, but she's been great in helping to manage it on the back end, as has Dom Carrillo, one of our producers. So I'm pretty sure I can do this. I'm gonna put the link in the chat. This is for the full length, by the way, and this will take you to it takes you to a site called Buzzsprout. I'm not going to go into the details about what that is, but it'll take you there. And then from there, if you're an Apple, if you're an iPhone user, or Spotify, or if you want to watch the videos that Jeannie has put together on LinkedIn, the links are all there. You can sign up, join, like, subscribe, do whatever you need to do, and follow the journey, because this is just the beginning for you, right, Jeannie?
Yes.
This is not something that you're just doing. Maybe the live stream will be not so many times, but you plan on doing this and building the show to something that is, even with what you've already done, it's huge, but you want to build it even bigger than it already is.
Oh, yes. I want to keep meeting people, talking to them. I'd like to have repeat guests. And I'm always looking for new guests. So if you
Yeah.
experience something and you're watching right now and you think you could play Two Truths and a Lie with me and tell me all about yourself, I would love for you to be a guest. So
Yeah.
just go to www.projectcandor.com and fill out the form. We'll get you going.
Actually, keep talking, Jeannie, because what I'll do is I'll put that link in the chat too for you. There, I should have had that one ready as well, but I didn't.
Oh, that's okay.
But you said you have some really cool things planned today.
Yeah, but
So
I just want to say one thing. Thank you very much, Carl, for you and your company, July and Dom and you. Have been fantastic to work with. I mean, I was swimming around, like treading water, but not going anywhere. And then, of course, here's the sailing, as everybody will find out. This is a nautical theme, and I'm a crazy Navy veteran, so I really go for the sailing theme. So, I was treading water. You started getting that ship going, so I appreciate it. And with that, I do have some things. So, what
okay.
happens when you launch a ship, by the way? Do you know?
There's from what I've seen, there's usually somebody christens it with a bottle of champagne and oh my goodness.
This is a huge bottle of champagne, courtesy of my older sister, and
That is so cool.
she gave it to us for not this reason, but I'm going to use it for the launch. And of course, we're not going to actually physically cross the bow or christen it with this big bottle, but
Yeah.
I have our little ship here.
Oh, I love it. I love it. That's cool. That's so
And
cool.
we're just going to simulate that we have launched and christened Project Candor.
I love it. That's so cool. That is so cool. Um, and it's too bad we can't crack the bottle open. But
I
hey,
know.
I expect you to do that later on with your husband, or unless you want to save it for another occasion. But definitely that is very cool.
Well, it's
That's
also
awesome.
his birthday today, so
Oh, that's right. I'd
so
forgotten.
we may just crack this
Right.
open today.
Um,
Yay.
Happy birthday, and I totally forget his name. You'd mentioned it.
Magnus.
Magnus. I was going to say Magnus too, and I'm like, is it Magnus? But I don't want to say Magnus and have it. No, it's actually Michael. Like, Magnus. If you're watching and listening, happy birthday. Um, Jeannie has the champagne covered. She's
Yeah.
got that taken care of for you that you can celebrate with later. He just said thanks, Carl, in the chat. So
Oh, good.
he's paying attention. That's great.
Yeah, he's
That
off
is so
this
cool.
weekend and he's been having a good time.
Nice.
We celebrate birthday weeks, sometimes birthday months.
Oh,
I don't know.
cool.
Like in a couple
Right
weeks, we
on.
might say, "Oh, let's go for a birthday meal." Whose birthday? Who cares?
But it's a day that
It's
ends in Y.
closer to
Let's.
yours than it was to mine coming up.
It's like you have to go through the family tree. Whose birthday was it on April the 27th? Oh, this
Exactly.
person. So
That's funny.
awesome.
But I am so happy we're launched. And for the other events, you did promise me that you'd bring a story. So for our people
That's
listening,
right.
we're gonna each tell a story and then guess if the other one's story is true or a lie. So
And you
I don't
can.
know.
And
Do
do
you
you
want?
want and for those who are catching the stream now, if you're watching the video later, you might already know what the answer is. But if you're catching the live stream and you want to guess, by all means, don't hesitate to put your answer in the comments or in the chat or whatever it is. Magnus, that means you too, because I know you're paying attention. So do you want me to go?
Yeah, you
Do
go
you want me to
first.
go
That's
first? Okay.
fine.
Okay. So, and again, this is not the full game. This is not two truths and a lie. This is you need to guess if it's true or if it's a lie, right? Okay. All right. So here we go. Because I was thinking about this. As you know, Jeannie, I spent 25 years working in radio broadcasting. Totally loved my career. Had a chance to meet some phenomenal people. Interviewed some great people, mostly in the country genre, but I, had a chance for example, interview and meet Sheryl Crow in my career. That is true, by the way. That's
You're not
a true
supposed to tell me
that's a
any
true
part of
part.
it.
That's a true
Okay.
part, for sure. But this is the part that you need to guess: is this part true, or
Okay.
am I just blowing smoke at this part, or blowing steam? No, that'd be a steamship. That's different. Anyways, it's 2001, and it's the summer, and I'm working at a country station in southwestern Ontario, not too far from Niagara Falls.
Nice.
And there's a summer festival, and I'm one of the folks who the radio station's sponsoring it. I'm one of the people who gets to go down to the festival and hang out, meet some listeners, but then also bring on stage one of the acts who's performing at this summer festival. And the person performing at the summer festival was none other than Rompin' Ronnie Hawkins. Now, Ronnie Hawkins was right up there with Elvis, Carl Perkins, Jerry Lee Lewis, Chuck Berry. He's from that era where he performed with a number of those folks, was influential to the likes of Bob Dylan. And by the time I'm interviewing him, well, not interviewing him, but I'm backstage with him. It's kind of an interview because we're chatting back and forth, but I'm not actually formally interviewing him. But we're getting ready to go on stage, and Ronnie at this point he's probably in his late 60s, and he's lived the rock and roll lifestyle. He really has lived the rock and roll lifestyle. So we're backstage, we're having a couple of pints, and then all of a sudden, and he's at this point he's got a cane, like he looks like he's lived the rock and roll lifestyle too. Like he's got the cane, and then I have the chance to go and introduce him on the stage. And I say something like, this is a guy who was a rock and roll legend, performed with Elvis, put your hands together for Rompin' Ronnie Hawkins. And here's this guy that was sitting in a very comfy chair with his cane, sipping his pint. And all of a sudden he gets on stage, and he's not necessarily like he's a teenager, but he's performing like you would figure a rock and roller in his 60s would perform, still without missing a beat, putting on a great show. So there is my, is it true or is it a lie? Did I have the chance to have a pint and then get on stage and bring on stage a rock and roll legend, Ronnie Hawkins?
Okay. I should play Jeopardy.
Da, 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 da,
Knowing you, I would say yes, but I have no idea who that person is. Because is that a Canadian person?
So he was actually born in, I'm going to get this wrong. He was born in Arkansas, but he did live in, but he, yeah, so, but he was born in Arkansas, spent most of his time living in Canada, but toured the world. And like I said, worked with Elvis, worked with Carl Perkins, worked with Bob Dylan, worked with a lot of those older rock and roll pioneers, I guess you could say, that paved the way. So a lot of people don't remember who he is. But he was in his day, he would have been like a legend, Canadian, of course, but still a legend with the rock and roll scene, big time.
Okay,
So
I'll say
yes,
true.
it's true. Yes, it is true.
Yay.
It indeed is true. Yes, I did have the chance to have a couple of pints with. He's since passed away, by the way, in 2022. But I still remember that going, and again, I would have been in my late 20s. Having a pint with this,
wow.
the guy with a long scraggly beard, kind of like, the ZZ Top beard, long scraggly beard. And, how you doing there, son? Kind of deal. It's like almost like pirate talk. Arr, how you doing there, son? Have another pint. I'm good to go.
Just so you can have a pint. It's like I have to recall like watching British BBC TV or something.
Yeah. So it was definitely an experience that I'll remember.
Yeah,
For
that's
a long time.
fantastic.
The Sheryl Crow story was not as fascinating. That's why I couldn't really elaborate too much on that one. The only thing I can say about that is, and that is true as I shared already, but Sheryl Crow usually doesn't do interviews. She did in her early days, but she had some rough go with people who were just asking her the wrong questions, and she stopped doing interviews. She came and performed in the city I was working in at the time, and we were able to get a up close and personal. No one else there. It wasn't a listener thing. It was just myself and my radio co-host went and interviewed her. And it was very heavily stipulated that, you can only ask her questions about her music. Don't ask her anything too personal. Don't talk about politics. Don't talk about, craziness. Just talk about her music, talk about the tour, anything like that. And that was pretty cool too, but not as deep a story as Ronnie Hawkins. So.
Yeah,
There you go.
sometimes people ask really weird questions.
That's
It's
true, they
I
do.
mean, it's personal and, something they just want to be different and try to dig. And that's not what we're about. We're not going to ask you anything embarrassing.
No.
We're just going to stick to you talking most of the time.
We're going to stick to the script that you've
Yeah.
given us.
Yeah, exactly. Well, okay, so I
so it's your
got
turn.
it right. So maybe my percentage will go up a little bit.
Well, maybe. But now it's your turn.
Yeah. So, all right. So, this will be something that folks that I grew up with will probably recognize. But when I was growing up in a little bitty town in North Carolina, I'll say the name Williamston, and it was a kind of musical town. People were singing in church and choirs, but they also learned instruments, and then they were in the band, or for me, we were into piano.
Okay.
My mom loved us to play the piano, so I learned to play the piano from the age of like 5 up and took formal lessons all the way through college. Do I play a lot now? Not so much, but I like to piddle. So we had recitals. I don't know if you've ever been around people that play the piano. They have these big recitals. So you spend all year,
I try.
practicing and trying to remember a song, and then you're gonna go perform. And part of that performance is you put on your long gown, you walk out on the stage, you announce the song you're gonna play. And then you sit at the piano, you play it, and get up, and everybody applauds. But mostly the audience was, Your parents, your relatives, your friends, other people that were in the recitals, parents and friends. It's not a big thing, but you did get to the process of doing it. So one year in a recital, I remember going out and I had to play Invention Number 8 in F major by Johann Sebastian Bach. And I wish I could bring it up on screen and play it, but I mean the somebody playing it, but it can't. I can't. So it's a lot of staccato and a lot of jumping around on the keyboard. So I walked out. I announced that I was going to play this song, and then I seriously turned around, sat down on the piano. You know, you got to have it memorized, you know, music,
Yeah.
and started playing it. And it got rough, right? And so somebody had forgot to lock the feet of the grand piano. It was a grand, actually, not a baby.
Yeah.
And they forgot to lock the feet because it was rolled out onto the stage. And so as I got more serious into the song, right, the piano starts moving. And it just keeps moving. And I'm like lifted up off the seat a little bit, keep on going. Pretty soon, I'm finishing that doggone song in stand-up mode. And I stood up and finished it, turned around, embarrassed, and then, you know, everybody clapped, and then I walked off. So there you go.
Wow. It's funny how we both had stories that relate to music. What does that tell you about the power of music in our lives, right?
Definitely.
Oh my goodness. So with the conversations that you and I have had, I would say that's a tough one. I would say that the part about the recital I would say is true, but the part about the piano moving isn't. Because those pianos are pretty freaking heavy. But I could be totally wrong. So I'm going to say, I can't say part of it's true and part of it's false, but I'm going to say the part about the piano for sure moving is false.
Okay. So it is a lie, but not the piano moving. It's just that it happened to my sister, Susan. I did recitals, but nothing like that happened to me.
But it did happen to her.
It happened to her exactly like
Wow.
that. And she finished that song, and she never missed a beat. And she got up, took her applause, and walked out.
Oh my goodness. So I'm 0 for 1. It's a good thing I don't host the show. I'd be like, that's false. That's true. I'd get them wrong.
It was really fun.
Gosh,
She did a good job.
I like they're so heavy though.
Yeah, but you know,
They
if
still
you're-
roll. Like I get that, but they're still like
Yeah, well, if
Anyways.
you don't put the brakes on the
That's
rollers,
true.
and what
Yeah.
happened was they didn't use it on stage all the time, so they only rolled it out for the recital.
Oh.
They forgot to lock it down. But they locked
and
it
it
down for the next, and she was like the senior people playing, and I was junior at that time, so it was locked down for me.
so she must
No.
have been one of the first ones then, I guess,
Right,
getting
she
up
was.
and playing because okay. Interesting.
But it
Wow.
was really cool. You know, those kind of things, I don't know. They stick with you and they're just fun. And I'm sure I saw a little video on YouTube of a little young girl doing the very same thing, walking out, announcing her song, sitting at the piano, and it just cracked me up because I remembered that story.
Wow.
I just wanted to share it.
Well, I'm certainly glad you did. That's again, so I got it part right that
You did?
you did play recitals. That's the part that I was pretty sure, but it was just talking about as soon as you started to say, well, the piano moved, I'm like, no, there would have been something, either the break or some places even put like the pads underneath them so they don't roll, like the rubber pads or whatever, so they don't roll as easily. But wow, okay. Wow, good to note. Good to note. And the only reason why I know how heavy they are is my parents have a baby grand in their living room. And the baby grand, of course, is smaller than a full grand piano, but even it is heavy as all heck. Like if they need to move it, it takes 2 or 3 people. It ain't light. and it's an instrument, so you got to be careful how you move it. Anyways, so I know the weight of them, but man, oh man, I didn't think they would just start.
Right. I mean,
Like,
when you want to move one of those pianos, you have to hire moving companies
yeah.
with straps and
Hmm.
boards and blankets, and it's insane.
And on a stage, they have them usually they have them on like an apparatus that's for, like you say, for wheeling the piano around. They just don't physically pick it up and move it. And there's usually not just little casters on it. It's an actual piano dolly or whatever they call it that it's on. So
Yeah, that's
yeah,
what it was
interesting.
on, a dolly, a piano dolly.
Okay, okay, there you go.
Yeah, just don't let
Okay,
it
so there we
drop.
go. So we played the mini version of the game.
That's the mini version.
You didn't want me to do too much because you still want me to come on as a guest and do the full
Yes,
story.
I do. I do, because
Yeah.
there's a lot more to you than meets the eye.
Well, that's about, thank you, I think.
That's a good thing. Yes.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. I'm like, that's okay. That's it's a lot more to
You
you
have
than
a
meets
lot of
the
good,
eye.
you have a lot of good friends, and that are going to be on the show. So yeah, we want to find out more about you too.
Yeah, well, thank you. And there's more for sure that I'm more than happy to pass along to you. But if you're hearing Jeannie or watching Jeannie and I have this conversation and you're wondering, hey, how do I get in on this? The link is in the conversation in the chat there. And yeah, Jeannie would love to hear from you. If you think you're a good candidate for Project Candor, the podcast, or if you know someone who you think would be a great candidate, because that's the other thing. We all know someone. That's how I was able to give you, I don't know, half a dozen or eight solid names that I thought would be a great fit for the podcast. But if you know someone, then don't hesitate to reach out to Jeannie. She'd love to hear from you, and help her build out the show, because I find it's also what I like about your show, Jeannie. If I can just, I know we're coming up to 30 minutes of doing this, but your show is different. It's different in a good way, in the sense that, there's a lot of newsworthy type shows out there. There's political shows. There are shows that are tongue in cheek about a lot of things. There's shows that are, like locker room talk, just the guys talking. There are some that are for women empowerment, and those are all great. They all have a valid audience, and that's phenomenal. What I like about yours is it's fun. It's real people that have real stories. And at the end of the day, you're empowering them to share their voice, but you're also having some fun doing it. And that's the magic, I think, of the show, is the fun,
Oh,
not to
thank you.
mention the nautical and the pirate themes of Walk on the Plank and all, whatever other, we're about to set sail. No, anchors away, anchors away.
There's
That's
no
it.
way.
We're going to anchors away. Let's do it. Christening the boat with the champagne. Like, it's just all
I
kinds
forgot
of,
to sing our national anthem. That's the problem. We did not sing.
oh, darn.
Well,
Oh, darn.
we can do
Oh,
it
well.
another time.
Another time.
We needed to
Okay.
sing both of them, like "Oh Canada" and
Oh, we'd have to, yeah, we'd have to get both involved. So let's
yes.
maybe think about that for another time. But I definitely, again, huge congratulations on the launch of the show.
Thank you.
Yeah, any words of wisdom as you, I mean, it's your live stream, by the way, so I'm not trying to take it over. I'm just like, is there anything else you want to cover before
Oh,
you
you're such an
wrap
excellent
things up?
broadcast person. It's
I've
just
done it a few
amazing.
times.
And I have not. I have been in a corporate environment for years. No, no words of wisdom. Just join the show. Listen in. We've got some great guests coming up. Unbelievable guests. We'll be launching the first episode this week, and that is just going to be me playing the game myself with some more stories, not the piano story, my own stories, and telling a story about myself. And then right after that, the first guest coming up is Beverly Howard, and then the second one is Alan Mallory.
Great
And
guy.
just we keep going from there, and you guys are going to, you just have to hear them. They're amazing. And so the words of wisdom is because listen in, come be a guest, and just tell the truth. Be candor.
Come along on
Be
the journey
candor.
with us.
Yeah, come along on the journey.
Bon voyage. It's a bon voyage, I guess we could say, as we
Yes, yes.
embark on, Project Candor. And again, thanks, Jeannie, for inviting me to come on again to join us on the what do you say? On the cruise? No. to join us on deck,
as we
to
steam
come
through the
aboard.
ocean.
I need help with the words. I was under the Navy.
We're haze gray and underway. Kinda. I don't want to
There
be
you
on
go.
that, but
All the links are in the chat to join Project Candor, find out more about what Jeannie has put together, and then also Candor together, to also again connect on the website and connect with Jeannie and tell her what you think of the show, and then also to join us on board. All the connection points are there, Jeannie. Thank you. I'll let you
Yeah,
wrap it up. I'll
thank
shut my
you.
mouth now.
Oh, no. Thanks so much, Carl. Appreciate it. Thanks, everyone. And see you soon. Bye.